Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you very much for inviting me for this event. Uh, as I have been told that today it is a launch ceremony about the National Achievement Test 2023. Uh, the Pakistan Institute for Education is steering this ceremony, I hope, and it is a pleasure to be here with the activity which is being done today. Education sector is not only a complex sector but very vital for the development of any nation. It doesn't have an impact within some premises of our schools or education institutions, but it has a potential bearing on the society which emerges. The challenge in our education is manifold. On one hand, we have a high growth rate of population, which makes it even more challenging to bring all the 5 to 16-year children to our schools. But on the other hand, there are complexities relating to the imparting of education, its objectives, and its impacts on the society. A nation as we are, a heterogeneous, with a certain degree of heterogeneity, as well as low literacy rate and the diversified socio-economic challenges, the education and its responsibilities, I will say, become manifold. PI, I've been told, is doing important contribution in the sphere of teachers' education as well. So the teachers' education and students' learning outcomes, and then its impact on the creation of a knowledgeable society, they are all interlinked. Although we cannot expect too much from a sitting of one day, but still, I'm sure that we in the provincial government, our directorates, our curriculum related officers and experts, plus the experts with the federal government, we can collaborate and join hands to create the educational environment in such a way that in the years to come, it can transform the society in a positive direction. I must say maybe it is out of place over here, but the point which constantly creates stress in my mind is that the government employs educated people, or at least degree holders, in every sphere. Whether it is from junior clerk or up to the level of chief secretary or chief justice, a civil judge, a police officer, excise officer, everywhere. I have not seen that government has appointed an illiterate person against any of these posts. What I want to say, if the society thinks that there is a corruption, there is a mismanagement, there is a sort of disorientation in our departments toward achieving the targets, so there is something very severely wrong in our education. So, and when I go deep into it, and I see that we in the system, I don't limit it to the government schools only or public schools only. We in the system take a child of 4 to 5 years in our school systems in nursery or grade 1 or so. And after spending 9 years with us, what we have to do is to install cameras in examination halls. So meaning thereby that in these 9 years, we couldn't impart the basic concept of integrity in our student. So this is something which creates enormous stress in my mind. The solution is not outside a child. The solution should be from within the child, that he has developed some values. If he has developed some values, he can then, without saying anything, by sheer his conduct, he can transform the society positively. I was now just traveling to this event, and I passed through a choke on the roads. Let me call it choke. There was, incidentally, a traffic warden was not present there. So it took some efforts to steer from the haphazard traffic which has congested on that choke and converted it to as a choking point. I believe most of the people who are driving their vehicles and cars who are educated, at least they have gone through 12 years from some of our institutions. So this is something which we need to address at the moment. Because if we start thinking on this line, and because I'm talking with my friends and colleagues from PAE, if we have in the KP, we have 6.6 million students enlisted in our government sector, and maybe half of them, or part of them, would be enrolled in private institutions. We have about 34,000 schools in government sector, and we have around 200,000 teaching staff available with us. So the teaching which we are going to impart to the 6.6 million children depends on the capacity, passion, and commitment of 200,000 teachers. So I would earnestly request and desire that whether it is Directorate of Curriculum, whether it is Directorate of Elementary Education or Directorate of Professional Development and the Pakistan Institute for Education, let us collaborate and join hands to work on these zero point 0.2 million teachers so that our 6 to 7 million students can benefit. We can start it now, and if we start it now and we are able to disseminate this message and this we are able to somehow create some sort of this passion and commitment in our teaching faculties, I'm sure that within 12 years we can produce quite a new generation who will be not needing to have cameras in examination hall, who will not need to have traffic sergeants presence when there are traffic signals already there. And that will be the point when we might not need to see fortunes in developed countries, rather we can make our own nation and country a fortunate one. So with these few remarks, I'm thankful for the patience hearing on behalf of my colleagues over here. And I'm sure that this National Achievement Test and the event gives some idea that where we stand today. And this can give us a line that what should be our strategy and what should be our focus for years to come to achieve a target of creating a knowledgeable and responsible society through the education systems. I may again say it, why I am putting this burden on the education systems is because the country which we live has diversified opinion builders. Social media, any person may give an idea and a post or may give some connotation, and many of us would not need it necessary to verify it whether this piece of information is genuine or not. Because we have not been trained or educated in critical thinking. So we behave like a herd, or you may say as like a hujum. Whoever is presenting something with more vigor, we are prone to listening to that. And there are examples also that we have various influencing ingredients in our society. Our geostrategic position is such that we get affected from the situations and societies in our neighborhoods. Because it is the time of information technology and you cannot make yourself aloof and your children aloof from the things happening around us. World has become a global village. But the context, if is not clear to our youngsters, they would not be able to analyze anything but may go stray in one thing or another thing. So the key point is such a society which has a leading part, and leading part should be our graduates, our educated lot, and they should be in, groomed in such a way that the society takes a lead from them. I recall that there was one institution in pre-partition time which started as Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental School at Aligarh by Sir Syed Ahmed Khan, and later on it upgraded to Aligarh College and then Aligarh University. In those times, you can see that every political movements and social reforms were being spearheaded by one or other graduate of that education system. So why we have become so passive, or that sometimes I even see it that a well-educated or having a good degrees a person is being allured by some person who gives him some taweez or that, and he is standing over there. So the question is not about sending children to schools. It has to be effective. It has to be with some passion, and that I hope that this event will give us an insight about that and will be helping us in formulating a way forward for that. Thank you very much.